Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the HVAC Overtime show.
Yo, yo.
Glad you guys can all be here. Looks like we got about 40 some people in there. Like to say hi to everybody out there watching in YouTube, as well as everybody out there listening on the podcast. This will be a podcast eventually. Let's do a quick roll call, see who's in the chat with us. See, looks like we got Clint's in here, HVAC rookie. I see Susie's right there. Quality comfort. Don't get your feelings hurt, guys, if I don't see your name. Chat if you're in here.
Chat,
Who else
chat.
we got here? We got HVACR Tech, Ren's in here, Hoser, HVAC Heatmaster, Robert Bronson. That seems like a new name right there. Michael Bemko. That guy sounds familiar. Got M Tech, he showed up. Vlogger, Kelly Kyler, Susie. Man, I got a bunch of people in here tonight. Well, we're going to do our best not to let you guys down. So first, I want to take a quick minute and sort of address a few things about the show. Kind of a quick outline of the direction of the show. So we're basically going to be doing the same thing, just a little bit, just a few little changes here. Topics are going to be the same. We're going to maybe have a couple different topics per show. Still going to have some giveaways. We, like I said in the beginning, we are going to take the audio and extract it from this video and just have a podcast. So when we get that all set up, it's still in the making. So when we get all that set up, we'll put something out in the Facebook group, which, by the way, I almost forgot to mention this. If you guys aren't already a member of our Facebook group, go into your Facebook account and look for HVAC Overtime and join that group. That's where all the cool kids hang out. You could consider that the cool kids lunch table if you want.
Ooh.
So another thing that we're going to try to do each week is, if any one of us release a video, we're probably going to pull a clip out of that video and we're just going to discuss it a little bit and talk about maybe some other, war stories from our week, anything that's intriguing. And on top of that, what we want from you guys, we want you guys to email us. If you have any cool stories, you want to send us a video clip, pictures, send it to us. Give us some context, of course. Tell us what the picture's about, what you're doing. And what we'd like to do is we'd like to have a segment on the show where we can feature that and talk about it. I mean, it can even be something crazy. It doesn't have to be something educational at all. I mean, if for whatever reason you find like a giant raccoon stuffed inside of a blower wheel and they say they ain't got any heat, that's worth looking at right there. So that's the direction of the show, guys. I hope you guys enjoy it. Joe?
What's up, guys? What's up? Good to see everybody here.
I see you. Looks like you're back on the wagon. Is that how?
Yeah, you know what? It's a tough one. I gotta admit, it's a tough one. I love my R22, and
last time I talked to you, you had a bunch of refrigerant oil in your mustache.
Yeah, I had to. I'm glad you warned me, dude, because that would have been no good going in public like that.
I will say that was pretty clever. That glass pipe that you made with the little pressure gauge on it to figure out a way to smoke that R22. No, I'm just joking. Nobody inhale, smoke, or huff R22. It's bad for you, and it will make you stupider than you are.
And yeah,
I think R12 is worse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
like
understanding it, right?
I like the sweetness of R22.
Mm-hmm. That phosgene gas, the way it just kind of hits your lungs.
That's right.
Takes your breath away.
That's exactly right.
Like a Liam Neeson action scene.
Yeah.
Well, a hoser, he still looks like he's homeless because he's still trying to get caught up on bills. He hadn't been able to turn his gas back on at his house. It's cold in there. That's why he's got a toboggan on.
Yes,
you should have seen what he was wearing before the show.
Yeah, they actually told me to change.
Mm-hmm.
They actually showed me.
We donated a shirt to him just for the show.
Yeah.
He's actually
somehow he got he somehow acquired what would you say Mario Andretti's
gray shirt.
He's one of the pit crew fill-ins.
It's like a driver walking in for an F1 race.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong with my shirt, guys?
So what'd you do this week? Anything fun?
Yeah, like I said, that the habit's expensive habit. So I did a few calls. I have a few calls here. I want to share with the guys as well. Actually, I was at this call at this package unit, and I heard there was a leak. Yada yada yada. Went over there. But while I was there, I looked over to the left of me and I was like, what the hell? What is that octopus? Anyways, I seen this boiler. I don't know if you want to show it out, Adam, if you have it on your deck. I seen this boiler with the pecks coming out of it like it's I don't know what you want to call it. I don't know what you call this, spaghetti monster or something. It was pecks. It could have been even PEX B coming out of that boiler. It was just crazy. I don't know. Do you have it on the screen, Adam?
Yeah, it's up.
That's the worst I've ever seen in my life. I don't know if you've seen anything worse, but that's the worst I've ever seen in my life.
They didn't strap it up or anything. It's just all over. It's a freaking
and like just I never even really seen a primary, loop of a boiler in PEX. And I don't deal with that white PEX anyway, so I don't know if that's PEX B. It looks like it's PEX B as well. It's I don't know. It's just it was crazy when I seen it. I'm like, what? And then I just went to my call. Obviously it was a condensate line that was plugged up, but regardless. Yeah, it was crazy. I couldn't believe when I see it. I'm like, you know what? I don't really see big hacks like that too often.
Not at that level, huh?
Yeah, not at that level. And when I see that,
like somebody was trying real hard to be a hack on that job,
or they're just trying to get it done very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like.
And why is that, Joe? Is it because it's like your area is held to a higher standard, so you don't see the Joe Blow guys that are doing terrible work? Is that kind of what it is?
That's exactly what it is, Justin. It's just up here, there's so many codes in place. Is
it a union heavy area?
Says the guy.
Union and non-union.
Says the guy with 8 rolls of BX in his truck.
We love our BX up here. I make it look neat. I don't
even know what that is. What is BX for those of out there like me that don't know what
shielded wire. Shielded,
Oh, just shielded wire. Oh, yeah. Okay.
But yeah, so it's just weird seeing that hackery.
So what'd you do? What'd you tell the customer? Why were you there? Just the condensate.
There was a leak in the package unit. I don't know if you got the end of that video. You actually see it coming out of the condensate trap. You didn't catch that at the end?
Yeah, we saw that. So that was
okay.
That was why you
were
just examining all the other BS going on in the house.
Yeah.
Interesting. Is that place a mess?
It wasn't. It's a beautiful house, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy? Some of the nicest houses you work on have some of the worst hack jobs you ever come across.
Yep.
It's been a while since I've been in a residence home for any sort of service. But back in the day when I used to do home appliance repair, I would walk into some of the nicest houses and they would take me down to the basement and it looks like a bomb went off. It's like almost like a Salvation Army in a Goodwill store, just like had an orgy and made like 300 babies, and then a hoarder moved in. It was horrendous.
You know what's discouraging to me? Like when you spend so much time on a job, and that first off, let's talk about the planned topic for this show. Actually, last week's show, what we were gonna have, was gonna be what's better, basically. What do you guys think is better? Service versus install versus sales, right? Anyways, I was going to get to this point. You could spend so much time on an installation. You could do everything by the book, everything pin straight. You could put a level on everything. It's perfect. And you're done at the end of the day. And you walk the customer through and they're like, oh, okay. And they don't care. And it's like, you're done. And it should be on the cover of a freaking brochure or something like that. It's perfect. And they just don't get it. But I guess I go through the motions because it helps me sleep better at night. I don't know. It's just pride.
It's very, I'm glad you said that. Actually, I said it in the video. I took it out. Seeing that makes me feel that my work is, so much better, right? You feel that pride come in because you see other guys work and I don't like to dox other guys' work, but when you see something like that, a masterpiece, it's like, what the hell? Damn.
What happened?
Yeah.
No wonder I got the job.
Fool yourself there, Joe.
Yamo. John's in the chat.
Yeah.
He just got timed out. I don't know what he did, but lay off him a little bit if he's.
Yeah. He didn't say nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah, there's no need to block anybody or delete anybody
No.
unless.
Trying to let bygones be bygones.
Yeah, the other thing I had to was almost a tip, and maybe get some ideas from other guys. I was putting some venting in, and I did my pilot hole. Usually I do my pilot hole because there's some nice stone on these houses and whatnot. So I do my pilot hole from the inside out.
What kind of vent was it?
3-inch or 4. I don't remember if it's 3-inch or 4-inch now. CPVC, it's for boiler venting, wall boiler venting. So I was in a hole in the wall, pilot hole, let's say an SDS Max, whatever you want to call it, inside out. And then from the outside, I do my core hole inside, get to the plywood, come back inside, do my core with my drill, regular drill. Anyways, so I did my pilot hole. I did my holes outside in the stone. And I was doing my hole in the inside, and all of a sudden I hit a, you could say a steel wall. And it was actually a structural beam, steel beam.
It looks wood from here, Joe.
It looks wood, it's steel. If you see some shininess to it, that's the steel.
Oh, on the left side, steel.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that wood I had to take out. Yeah, I was on a stud. But I wanted to make it so perfect. Obviously you want to make it look nice. And that was lined up through my exhaust main intake. So I did the hole, and I get down like, oh, no. But then it was a lesson learned. I go, you know what? That's my fault. I should have, I guess, made a pilot hole and make 2 pilot holes on the side from now on to make sure there's nothing on the side. If there would find studs, you go through them. It takes a little bit more time, make it look nice. But the structural beam was there. And then I seen the big cheese on site. And I told him, I go, man, I got lucky. We get along really well. It's like, yeah, I seen that. I'm like, yeah, I could probably just shift it over a bit. And we call them donuts. You put them on the outside and we'll cover everything up. No problem. But he's like, he played it so nice. He's like, you know what? It's my fault. I should have told you it was there. So I'm like thinking to myself, you know what? I guess he has a point. If I did bring it up, usually you don't. When do you ever go to a contractor and say, listen, is there any structural beams in the way in the wall? Usually you don't do it. I don't do it. So I'm thinking, hey, whatever's in the way, I measure, make sure it's at the right spot, and I'm doing a hole. So, but he was pretty cool about it. If it was a big screw up, they would have to, I guess, fix the outside and whatnot. But I got lucky there. I was able to shift it over. So next time, I will mention to a contractor of the builder, you could say, listen, do you know if there's any structural beams in the way? But I doubt they would have known anyways, unless he looks really deep in his prints, obviously.
I have two quick stories that tie into this. So
go ahead.
Back like maybe 10 years ago, it was the first mini split I ever did. It might have been more than 10 years ago. It was a Williamson. All right. This guy is friends with somebody that works there, and he got the equipment for free, and he was paying to install it. And he lives downtown. And I remember, a little bit off topic, but there was like an overhang coming into the back of the building, and I had a KUV Ford F350, and I'm like, hey Nate, you better get out and look and see if we're gonna clear this. He's like, you're not gonna clear it. I'm like, how much are we short by? He's like, 1/2 inch. I'm like, let's let the air out of the tires.
Nice.
So we let the air out of the tires, drove through, and we worked on it. All right. Now
I did it at Burger King drive-through one time.
Now we were drilling the hole for the mini split, and we go through. It was a brick building, and all of a sudden we drill a pilot hole. We go through, which was confusing. The pilot hole went through all right. It was a little bit of a struggle, and then we start going through with the core bit, and we stop, and it's like nothing. We can't get through. Pull everything out. Pull all the bricks and everything out. There's an I-beam right there. We're in the center of an I-beam.
Wow, that's yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know what to do, and I don't know what I should do in this circumstance. What we ended up doing was I just went. I think I bought like 3 hole saws, and just went at it slow, with the drill, and just boom, boom, boom. We drilled through a freaking, I don't know, what was it, 1/4, 3/8 inch thick I-beam. Went right through the thing. Dude, that was like a pucker factor. We went right through that. I mean, structurally, it's not going to do anything, right? To an I-beam.
I guess not. No.
But yeah, no, it was a small hole. I don't know. I probably
Oh,
shouldn't
okay.
have done it, but we drilled a hole in the side of this building. I don't know.
As long as the building inspector is able, man, you're
It
good.
was probably a bad decision to drill through it. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, just a little bit.
But now we had a hole in the brick, and I don't know. It was messed up. Now the other situation we were working on like $1 million house in the town that I live in, and one of the guys that works for me, he drilled a pilot hole, okay, and he went inside, like he drilled the pilot hole, everything was fine, and he drilled the hole on the outside of the house. Mind you, this is hardy board, the cement board siding. Drilled the hole. He comes and gets me. He's like, "We got a problem." What's the problem? He's like, "Come here. Look in the hole." Look in the hole. There's 2 pieces of 1/2-inch conduit going down the center of the hole for the line set. And I'm like, "Dude, did you drill a pilot hole?" And that's on the inside of the house, on the outside of the rim board. Well, the inside of the rim board and the inside of the house. So he's like, "Yeah, I drilled the pilot hole. It went through okay." I'm like, "Did you go downstairs and look if there's anything there where you went through?" "Oh no, it went through all right." So I just went through with the hole. So I'm like, "Dude, you gotta go look at your bit. You gotta look at your bit and see, what's going on with your bit."
It's funny you say that because I don't want to cut you off. I usually do layer by layer, and because I've been so close to wires, to line sets, to so many things, and it was a lesson learned because and I know we all have hit them something in the wall one time or another. So lesson learned, and I just do layer by layer. I take your time, no rushing, because there is stuff a lot of times behind that wall.
Man, one time I installed a dishwasher at a lawyer's house a long, long, long time ago. Probably I was still in high school at the time, and I don't remember exactly why, but I think we were drilling a hole to run wire or a water line or something. But anyway, I drilled into the wall and I hit a water line, but it didn't come sprinkling out right away, because I think what I did is just kind of nick the side of it. So instead of squirting out of the hole, it just slowly leaked down the pipe down in the basement through the walls. And like 2 weeks later, that's when we found out that there was a leak in one of his walls. When he called us up, he was pretty upset. His downstairs, which was a finished basement, his downstairs was ruined. The ceiling was all collapsed. The wall was collapsed. Yeah, he was not real happy with me. I didn't get a promotion that year for some reason. No, I didn't get a raise at all. Another awesome story, real quick, while I got the platform.
Go ahead.
Back in high school, and this has nothing to do with HVAC, but I just feel like it's a fun story to tell. We were delivering another dishwasher. It was strapped down to the back of the truck, and back then, I used to smoke cigars. And I was just smoking my cigar, and I tossed it out the window, and I don't know where it went. But I do know a few minutes later, I looked back in that box with that dishwasher, and it was just up in flames. The whole thing was up in flames.
Wow.
We pulled over to the side of the road. We had to throw it down in the ditch. We're stomping on it. By then, the plastic had caught fire, so it wasn't going out. We didn't have any fire extinguishers. I'm dumping Dr. Pepper on it and all that dumb shit.
Wow.
I wish I had a video queued up where I could show you guys right now. So about 1.5 years ago, we renovated the house that we bought. We just bought this house. I had another house, and we were renting this house for a long time, and it was all outdated. We put in hardwood floors. My wife, while they were doing the hardwood floors, she was staying in the city with one of her friends. I was working in Hyde Park in it's about an hour plus from my house, okay? I get a phone call from my wife frantically, and she's like, there's a fire at our house. There's a fire. You need to go home right now. And I'm in an attic that's like maybe 2.5 feet at best, that you're army crawling around ductwork, and there's no flooring. You're just balancing on, floor joists. And I'm like, what do you mean there's a fire at our house? She's like, there's a truck and it's on fire and it's exploding. I'm like, I'm an hour away and I have to clean up. I'm at this freaking uber rich person's house and I have tools all over. We got to clean everything. It's going to be like 2 hours at least till I can get home. I'm like, there's nothing I could do. So she sends me a video. The neighbor across the street took a video. The hardwood floor guy had like propane tanks inside of his truck, and something in his truck caught on fire. And this is intense. They had a video of the firefighters trying to put it out, and the propane tanks were exploding as they were shooting water at it, and they were like ducking and freaking. It is intense, dude. It was crazy.
Matrix styles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then another thing I want to share with you guys, and I brought it up quickly because I want the sheet metal guru, Adam, to see this, to see what us regular guys, HVAC guys, do on site with sheet metal, because we all don't have presses and this and that in our box truck.
Did you hear that, Adam? You're not an HVAC guy.
No, you're an HVAC guy. Don't get me wrong. But you are a sheet metal guru. So, anyways, we all don't have that privilege to have a nice box truck and all the press tools. So, I had a little video showing I had to make some ductwork a little bit more narrow because someone installed some actuator in my way. It was for a makeup air for a big kitchen. I was making a box to go outside, blah blah blah, to flex, big flex. Anyways, I had to do a ductwork. I had to narrow it down, and I'll show you how I did it. I have a little video clip.
It's on.
Yeah, it's on right now.
And I don't know if anybody else does anything different on site for what you have, but that's what I did. You know, I just
this guy and his grinder. Joe has a special bond with his grinder.
That's my girlfriend, man. I love that.
I don't doubt that. Do you have some sort of special attachment to it that you can put on there, and that's why you call it your girlfriend?
Yeah, how'd you know? We'll get into it another day.
Yeah, one of those. You got one of those wheels with like a bunch of tongues on it.
Yeah.
You just turn that baby on, let it smack you around, huh?
It's actually something else that has articulating, sticking out. Anyways, we won't go there. I'm just joking.
I need to save that material for the uncensored show.
That's right. But yeah, that's how I do. I grind it. That's, in case people don't know, folding that sometimes depends what gauge of sheet metal.
What gauge are you using?
I think
what, 16?
I think it looks like it. Yeah.
Why is it so? I mean, like, come on, 26 gauge. Do you really need?
Yeah, but come on. I want a nice. You know why? I'll tell you why I did that. One reason why I did that is because people don't put this stuff together. You have to put it in the seam that comes from factory, and that's what my goal was. I wanted to put a nice 1/2 inch, put in the seam, hammer it down, and it worked out beautifully. But I want a nice sharp 90. And I know if you do it without grinding, blah, 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 it's going to be that curvy 90 sometimes. You won't get a nice natural 90. So I like to grind it, get a nice
I feel like it would almost break. You got to be really gentle with the grinder.
Hey,
right?
Who are you talking to here? I'm grinder specialista, bud. So anyways.
Mario Andretti on the grinder over here.
So that's how I do it. And, I don't have a long, folder. So I got my helper there. You see him there. He comes in and he helps me fold it. But hey, if anybody has any other ideas, let me know, because I do this a lot. You're on the job. You don't got no press. You don't got no 2x4s like I know Ted mentioned in the olden days. They used to do anything they had. They used to make of it. So if you guys have any ideas.
So you don't have a box truck that pulls up with a workbench inside and a big old press and all that stuff, huh?
Nah, none of that.
I'm on like the 5th rendition of the box truck, and I saw Terry Smith was in the chat a little bit earlier. I don't know if he's still here or not right now, but he was there during the 1st rendition, and we had a bench, and the bench came out 3 feet because we were using 3x8 sheets, right? But what that does is limits you on how much equipment or whatever else you put in the truck. So every time we'd buy a new truck and build it out, we'd try to tweak it a little bit. So now on this, like whatever it is, 4th or 5th rendition, I have a bench that folds down. It's on a piano hinge. It stores the metal. It stores 3x8 sheets in there, and you just fold it up. It's got a couple hooks, eye hooks that it holds the bench up. You have the whole truck on the inside. You have a box and pan 4-foot brake on the backside, and the other side opposite the bench, you have a little a Junior Pittsburgh machine with like a shelving unit. So I could do Pittsburgh, whatever you want. I'm building Goldberg fittings if I want to, or whatever on the truck.
Wow.
And I will say, like prior to coming here, the extent of my sheet metal work was like building weather hoods for a package unit in a residential application. I can build a weather hood all day long with a freaking 4-foot brake in a yard and a roll of sheet metal. But I got to brag on Adam. I mean, he's got all that set up in the freaking box truck, and you could be replacing a furnace, and you got to redo the transition from the coil back up to the supply trunk or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Dude writes down a couple measurements, goes out to the box truck. 10 minutes later, he comes back in with these crazy transitions and snaps all this crap together. And I'm like, there ain't no freaking way I could do that.
You know what? You're right, Justin. That is awesome. I have to say, Adam, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm there, like, you know how it is, guys.
I have more of an elaborate like setup at the shop. I got a full sheet metal shop, and I'm debating whether or not I want to start selling some of the machines because like I haven't used it basically in probably a year, the shop itself. And I'm trying to get away from doing like the crazy custom stuff, you know. Although I have a guy that's I'm doing it kind of for fun. Is it called a cupola?
You talking about the director, Francis Ford?
Cupola? This guy dropped off, you know, one of those little things that sit on top of the roof of houses or whatever. He made one for a shed.
Eavesdrop?
The little like square box. I don't know what it is, but the roof on top of it, it's all painted and everything. And he wants me to put a standing seam roof on the top of it, and he's gonna mount it on top of his shed.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do that, and it's like, am I gonna make money on it? Probably not. I'm gonna charge him a couple $100 to do it, but it's gonna be cool. I'll take a couple pictures of it. I should make a video on it.
Oh, for sure. That would be cool. And that's what makes it interesting when you see guys doing transitions like Justin said on furnaces or weather hoods, or I've done exhaust. You could say, when they come out of the building, exhaust or intake louvers, they say, or whatever. Yeah. It's interesting how guys, us HVAC guys or trades, whatever you want to call it, think of on the fly. Okay, how am I going to do this? You know what I mean?
I mean, realistically, if I was building, and Adam's going to laugh about this, and I'm sure plenty of guys in the chat are going to be like, "Oh my God, a hack!" But if I had to build a transition, literally what I would do is I would measure out my 4 sides, my 4 pieces. Okay, I'd cut them out. I'd cross break them. I would cross break them, and I'd put 1-inch lips, and I'd screw those freaking jokers together. If I didn't use like a short piece of drive to freaking put them together, I might do that. But other than that, I'd bend a 1-inch lip, put screws in it. That's the extent of my knowledge as far as like sheet metal.
Yeah, and you know what? There's I'll explain it. You do transitions. You do a transition, and you're like, yeah, you know what? I've done it, a bunch of times. I'm gonna keep on doing it this way. I think every time I do one, I do it different. It's either how the furnace is situated, or how this is situated, or what you can get to, and you always end up doing it different. And the way I do it, anyways. Usually I do it different. If maybe one corner is different, it's never the exact same. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
I'm always trying to, when I'm doing sheet metal, if you're doing a change fitting and you're actually, you're trying to put a furnace and it's a tight closet or whatever, I always think about too, a lot of people just build something and they try to slip it in or whatever. I'm thinking about like, hey, let me assemble this thing. I want to assemble this and I want to do it easily. So I'm thinking about what side the Pittsburgh seam should be on, where should my flange be on, and you have to also take into account the angles, because if you have a crazy angle, your Pittsburgh should not be on that angle. You should have a flange on that angle, a 1/4-inch flange.
Gotcha.
So, yeah. Anyway,
I don't know. I think sheet metal guys it might be a dying breed, man. Everybody just buys their ductwork now. Rarely do you find sheet metal, at least down south. Maybe it's a super common thing up here. I don't know, because I don't know the area that well. But down south, in the town I come from, there is one heat and air company in the entire town that has a sheet metal shop, and they still build all their own ductwork. They do tons of new construction too, though. They build their own ductwork, but everybody else, I mean, it's for the most part, other than that company, everybody does round pipe, and they just buy everything. Yeah. So your trunk lines consist of, if you're doing an air handler or a furnace and a coil in a crawl space, that's horizontal or whatever, you're going to start with, depending on the size, obviously, you're going to start with 16, reduce down to 14, reduce down to 12. You're going to end cap, and your branch runs are going to come off that trunk. And that's the extent of ductwork. And that's how 99.9% of people do it down there.
Yeah.
For a while.
So to have the skill to be able to build all those transitions with square duct and stuff, that's a crazy skill to have.
I mean, I think basically the bare minimum, if you want to do that and you want to do it nice, you need like a junior Pittsburgh, and you need a box and pan brake, period. That's what you need. I mean, I guess you could probably get by with one of those small little portable job brakes with the 4-foot brakes, but box and pan does a much nicer job. You got a slit at the end. It just works out nicer. For a while, I was doing everything. I mean, I have a drive cleat notcher. I have a S and drive machine. I was making all my own S and drive cleats.
You might as well be speaking a whole different language to me. I have no idea what you're talking about.
You don't know what an S cleat is?
You could be describing exactly how to build a time machine for all I know. I don't know anything about what you're talking about.
I got a drive cleat punch, so if I need to make like a 23-inch drive cleat, I could pre-punch the ends on the drive cleat and then send it through the drive machine, and it looks like factory when you're done.
That's great.
No, the only add-in I have to that story was, as you guys know, I've been trying to get rid of my boiler system out of my house, and I want to put forced air in. So I got to run all new ductwork, and I don't know anything about ductwork. So I've been really heavily leaning on others for their knowledge. But I was looking in the area and just trying to find like anybody who does ductwork, fabricates and everything. But I found one place, and that's in northern Ohio, and I'm in southern Michigan. I'm sure there's probably a couple places around, but
you don't need to get anything you could just buy like the prefab stuff off the shelf for what you need to do.
That's what everybody's telling me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because you're gonna do it in your basement, right, and run it along the floor joist.
My basement, and my attic.
So, Bill, like I told you before, I canceled my subscription to RightSoft. I've been just paying a guy to do it for me, just because time factored in. I think you should
load calc.
You should get the load calc, and then I'll help you design your system, and I'll get you a basic material list. You might be off by a couple elbows or pieces of pipe or whatever, but I think you'll be good.
Yeah, I was trying to do my own heat load calculation, but I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah, but still, I don't know, Bill. I mean, even though you're a commercial guy and that that's what you do, you work on rooftops and you work on hot side stuff too. You're still a heat and air guy. So with maybe a little guidance on duct design and stuff like that, don't freaking pay somebody to come in and do your duct work. Don't do it.
I know. I would never, Bill.
Oh, I don't plan on it because it costs so much.
Yeah.
I mean, the estimates I got were so far out of range of what I thought. I mean, it was unrealistic in my opinion.
I kind of, in a way, I want to come up there and just help you for a weekend.
Yeah,
do it.
I know, right?
Do it. I'll give you directions.
You're not far, bud. Both of you guys.
Honestly,
that drawing item
easy
was
job.
dead on.
You got a box truck, bud.
I'm not bringing the box truck. We're gonna rely.
Drive your box truck all the way over here to Michigan.
I'm bringing the minivan if I come with a freaking
road trip in the box truck. Could you imagine?
Oh, do it up. Let's do it.
So, it looks like we're not going to quite reach 100 viewers tonight. So I guess the S-Man or the job links are out.
Yeah.
But we could do another giveaway. I don't know. What do you think? Should we take a caller or two and see? Maybe they have a couple nightmare holes they've drilled or something else.
Yeah, or stuff they do.
Hopefully the phone, like the call works. I'm not 100%. Like, hey, I'm learning.
We're about to find out.
We're learning on the fly here, guys.
I'm in a big shadow right now.
Yeah, big shadow. You know what? For your first time at it, you're doing an excellent job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. I appreciate that.
No problem.
So let's see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work or not. But if anyone wants to call in, tell us a horror story on installs or...
Where's our number at? Is it flashing across the screen yet?
Yeah, it's flashing across the screen. What do you think I'm made of?
If you guys don't see the number, just start smashing buttons on your phone until you reach us.
Yes.
Yeah. And also the email. Hopefully you put that on the screen.
I put that on what Bill was saying. I would really I think it would be awesome for people to send in like jobs they're proud of.
Yeah.
I love boilers the most, but send anything or hack jobs. If you run across a hack job, let's feature that. You know what I mean? Let's show it on the screen.
See those reality shows where I forget the name of it, but it's like a tattoo reality show, and all these tattoo artists, they do tattoos and they submit them to these judges, right? And the judges just go through and say what's good, what's bad about them. It's kind of like that. Like, we want you to email us good pictures, bad pictures, war stories, anything you got. And we're just, I mean, we might be mean to you a little bit if it's real stupid or dumb looking, but it's part of the fun.
Before we get this call, the other thing we don't mind.
It's ringing.
We'll call it. Go for it.
We don't have that whole technology.
Yeah.
It's making noise. Hello, caller.
Yes, hello. This is Quality Comfort.
How you doing, Quality Comfort?
What's going on, man?
Quality
What's up,
comfort.
guys? Nice
How you
video.
doing?
Nice to hear from you.
Yeah.
Whereabouts are you at in the
I want
world?
to tell you my story.
Go
What?
for it.
Say that again?
Go for it, bud.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. So I was listening to you guys' stories about drilling holes for mini splits. I was doing the exact same thing. And this is an old house from probably the 40s.
Yeah.
And I was drilling through a block wall that was supposed to be pretty simple. And just like you guys were talking about, as I drilled my 3-inch core, I hit 2 solid. I guess they were just metal rods going through the walls. So it took me about 3 or 4 different metal saw blades to finally cut them out.
That's rough.
That is.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've expired a couple core bits by trying to go through, and you hit like rods. Like actually, it was at a church going through like a limestone wall, and there was rods in the center of it, and I'm just like, what am I gonna do? You got to go through it.
Yeah.
Like rebar. Yeah.
Yeah, rebar.
See, that's when you're quoting a
Yeah.
job like that. You got some.
These rebars were probably at least 1.25 inches thick, in diameter.
Oh.
They were massive.
Oh man, there goes your core bit.
Quarter?
Wow.
There was some old house, man. I have no idea why they were like that, but
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
probably built during the
it
war
definitely-
time.
it ruined my day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, is this Zach?
Yeah.
Hey Zach, this it's okay. Quality. Now it's all cluing into me. Yeah, Justin told us about you. If you I don't know, what was it, a week ago?
Your channel is awesome. I got to say.
Yeah, you do an awesome job, bud.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate
Like
that.
you're a step above everyone else, and it's gonna show. Give it like
You
6
put a lot of
months.
work into it. That's for sure.
Yeah. It seems like, to me anyway, it seems like you had the editing on point before you ever even started. Like you knew exactly how you wanted your videos to flow, and they were like that at day one. You weren't just out there like with a cell phone all shaky, video and a service call. It actually had a process to it. I think you did a damn good job. So
Did you when you started, did you practice before you posted anything on YouTube, or how did it work?
No, actually, I've been following other like cinematographers on YouTube, and like I do my own photography for the family. So I've been getting into cameras and DSLRs for the past year, just doing side stuff. Like I'll do landscape photography, or I'll do photography for real estate people as well, just for fun, just learning more and more about that side of things. So naturally, when I went into starting the videos of the HVAC stuff, I brought in that equipment, and I just started using full-fledged cameras with interchangeable lenses, and using different lightings and microphones and all that. So
I just
it's
realized this is
definitely-
the guy that I was gushing over, who does all the fancy B-roll stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is hey, one night we were all sitting here just watching your stuff, and we're like, damn, this guy has how many subs?
cool to hear.
This is amazing.
yeah, no, I'll tell you, Zach. This is exactly how it was. You actually popped up in my recommended, and I'm like, I've never, because most of everybody watches Zach, everybody watches Ted and NorCal and Chris and everybody. It's like, who is this? And
Straight out of nowhere.
I clicked on it or whatever,
Oh, shit.
and I think at the time, I don't know what you've got now, but I think at the time he had like 400 subs, and I'm like, okay, he's just starting out. And I start watching the video, I'm like, holy freaking crap! Like his editing is freaking awesome. So
Hey, Zach, you ever follow a guy or look at his videos on YouTube? Peter McKinnon.
Yeah, man, that's one of the main guys. I love his style.
Yeah, he's got a I don't know what it is, but he's got a real talent for that. Just like that off the wall B-roll, like that background footage, and his pictures that he's taken are just amazing. Like I don't know if I'll ever get to that level, but man,
Well, I think not only is his editing and filming awesome. I mean, he does freaking phenomenal work too. You look at the job, and I remember looking at the what was it, a return drop or whatever round coming down next to an air handler, and you had like a level on it, and you were like looking at it, and it's like flawless, and I'm like, damn. That dude, like everything you're doing is just awesome, dude. It looks great. You're doing great work. You're doing excellent filming, like editing all around.
You ever have a customer that doesn't let you film in their house?
What'd you say?
No. Do you ever have a customer that won't let you film in their house?
No, I mean, I don't really make it so apparent. Like if my customers are around, I won't film. So it really depends on the job.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I guess that was going to be my next thing. Or do you even tell them, or do you just kind of set up a camera, and if it comes up, you'll address it, but otherwise you just kind of set it there and let it roll?
Just get some foil tape.
Yeah,
it's
never really an issue, because all of my customers that I have, I know personally. They're either, they're not necessarily like my best friend, but they're on a friend level, because I don't do any advertising with my business, so everybody knows me personally, so they kind of know what I'm about. They know the pride that I take into my work, and they know that I want to document it as well. So it's not even an issue for most of the time. So if anything, when I go on commercial jobs, that would be the only thing that I would say, hey, is this cool that I'm filming on your property?
Yeah.
Why don't you, I mean, obviously we're starting off on a new channel now. We started on John Israel's channel, then we bumped over to Zach's channel. This is a brand new channel for us. Hopefully this is going to grow and a lot of people will watch this video or listen to it in the future, but why don't you tell everyone what your channel's called?
Yeah, so the channel's called QualityComfort.HVAC, and it's just basically me documenting my work that I do. I'm a one-man operation, so I'm out there in the field doing service calls, doing installs, and I just try to do my best to document, that process.
Yeah. Cool. And for the guy, and we'll just go ahead and address it. I've already talked to Zach in the background or whatever, and we're gonna have him on as a guest here in a couple weeks. So we'll get some more of his story and kind of how he come up in the trade and all that stuff. So stay tuned for that here in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
Right on.
Well, all right, Zach. Thanks for coming, buddy. Thanks for calling and telling us your story.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
You too. Zach.
Did you guys hear that? Do?
Yeah. These little minor things.
I mean,
trying to throw a link up in the chat for his channel, but I couldn't get it.
We could put it in later if on the description or something. Whatever.
Whoops.
There we go. I think Justin.
There it is.
Justin's on it.
Justin knows what he's doing.
Oh, we got a caller.
There's another one.
I don't know who this is. Let's see. Hello, caller.
Well, hello, Adam. This is Rookie. How you guys doing?
Hang on. Hurry, hang on.
Actually, I got a pretty funny story. It happened about 4 or 5 months ago. We were putting on an addition. We're replacing AC on an addition. And I had a guy up in the attic, and I was cutting in some grills. I cut through the Romex, and it sparked and caused a fire. All the insulation around there had caught fire.
How'd you put it out?
Well, luckily, we still had a fire extinguisher up there. But as I was cutting it, I had a guy that was supposed to be, checking for the wires and such. He started yelling at me, "Stop!" And I saw the flash. And by that time, it was too late. He was up there with a bottle of water trying to put it out. I was like, "Get the fucking fire extinguisher." Dude.
We need the ABC here, not no water.
So fucking pissed off.
You didn't have any Dr. Pepper to throw on it?
No, we only had diet, and, that's worthless. So we wanted to use the fire extinguisher instead. But I just thought I'd share it with you guys because I've done, you make that mistake once. Next time I go up and I spot myself.
You're gonna always have it. One thing that I think that everyone should have if they're brazing or doing whatever, you should have some kind of bottle of water. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or a fire, just a little fire extinguisher.
Yeah, we have like the ones for your auto, like the little 3-pound ones. Yeah. And I always set it up. It was luckily, it was still up there from when I brazed in the new air handler. But my boss was pissed when we caused all that damage. So we're sitting up there trying to sand the wood to make it not look charred.
You still work in the same place, Ricky?
We stuck new insulation down so nobody could see the difference. But I mean, luckily he didn't burn down the whole house, or that'd be a totally different story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean,
Yeah,
everyone, there's like crap
anyway.
happens. Like stuff always happens. You're gonna run into it, right?
Yep.
I'll tell you.
Oh,
Let me
yeah.
let me
And my
tell.
boss is pretty cool. If you make mistakes and you own up to it, he usually doesn't get too pissed. But he was pissed
Yeah.
this time.
So when I think I told this story before. I don't know if it was when we were on Shop Talk or if it was with John Israel, but I was working for if anyone's in the Chicagoland area, the owner of Walsh Construction's house. Walsh Construction, they basically do everything: high-rise buildings, bridges, all the highways in Chicago. They're like one of the biggest construction companies in the country. They're they expand out into other states. All right. I was at his house, and he had a carrier unit, and there was a leak, and other companies couldn't find the leak, and I'm like, that was back before I had the H10, so I had the idea I'm gonna use dye, and I get out to his house and I pull out the dye canister, and I look, I'm like, I don't have the injector with me.
Uh-oh. I see where this is going.
I'm 45 minutes from the shop. I don't have the injector with me. This is when I was working for my dad. I'm like, I got this. So I pull the cap off. I hook it all up, and I stick like I don't know if it was a nut driver or whatever, and I start trying to plunge it. But the little like disc that holds the separation that the plunger pushes on, it spun. Okay?
Oh,
And the
God.
pressure from the refrigerant shot out, and it was like, boom! And my whole shirt, my face, my eyes, it was yellow, and there's like flagstone. This is like a crazy house. All right, this guy has a gazebo that they basically modeled the gazebo in Menards off of his house, a scaled down version. He has a wall in his garden that's worth $500,000 in his garden. Okay, so I have dye all over his flagstone behind me. I'm like, ah. If you guys have ever worked with dye, you know that like you touch the smallest bit of dye and it like spreads and it's everywhere. So I like open my eyes and I'm like, and I feel like I have blue blockers on. It's yellow. Like all I can see is yellow. I can see everything perfectly clear, but everything I see is yellow. And so I start flushing my eyes, and after like 4 hours, my eyes go back to normal. But all this flagstone is all freaking full of dye, dude.
What do you use to remove that glowy?
There's like a dye
Flamethrower,
remover, but it doesn't
Flamethrower.
work. It doesn't work very well.
No. What were you saying, Bill?
You got to use a flamethrower. That's it.
Yeah.
Nothing else to take it off. Just a high-powered gasoline flamethrower.
Honestly.
Everyone
don't
makes
think
mistakes, and they make stupid mistakes, right?
Yeah.
I don't think I've. I
Yeah.
don't think I've
Well,
got
just
anything
one more
that-
thing. The owner of this house, this was his son, to a huge refrigeration company out here. I don't want to name them, but if you guys know where Rookie Refrigeration was down for training last week, that's the owner's son that I was actually working on their house.
Oh,
So
no
that would
way.
have been a really big screw up. But anyway,
That's a
it's
lot
good to see you guys on your own channel. I want to support you, so if we
Thanks
can,
for
let us know,
everything.
all right?
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
coming.
Support Rookie.
All right, take it easy.
Later, buddy.
Hey, Adam, did my video come through? Were we able to load that up on the fly at all?
Well, if you guys like continue talking, I could probably figure that out.
Go for it. We'll do that. Actually, no, I'll continue right
I'm
here.
just nervous about like I might.
Add
Maybe I
something?
shouldn't do it. Maybe I.
Push the wrong button. I have some confidence there. You're doing a great job so far. I was going to actually mention about that video you posted not too long ago, Bill, about that system way off in the distance in the corner after doing some parkour, getting to it. What happened with that?
If you listen real close, you can hear my knees pop and my old man groans as I'm climbing all over there. Man, I don't know what it was, man, but it just made me feel old climbing around there. But yeah, luckily there wasn't a lot of snow on that roof. You know,
Yeah.
obviously I knew when I posted that I was going to get a lot of the what do you call it, the OSHA police, if you will, you know, telling me all about safety, which I knew,
IOPS.
and I was ready for that. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what, roofers do this all the time. You know, I'm not a roofer, but you know, it seems safe enough to at least walk across there and get eyes on this unit that they're telling me about.
Yeah.
And the funny thing was, like, as I'm talking to the maintenance guy, he wouldn't even go up there with me. He climbed up to the ladder, and he pointed way across there, and he's giving me directions. Like it's almost like I'm in the movie The Lord of the Rings, and this guy's giving me directions to find 20 minutes. I'm like, what are you talking about? So I'm climbing and walking and climbing some more, and then I get to that one section with all the rooftop units. I'm like, is this it? And he's like, no, it's not that. And he pointed. He's like, it's way over there. I'm like, man,
That was far, dude.
yeah. And I really don't think we're going to get that job because I bid it so high, just mostly for safety reasons. I mean, like 3 and 4 guys, because we're going to have to crane that thing in there blind. So I'm going to have a guy on the ground, a guy up on the roof ledge. And then also what I wanted to do just to make sure, because it's an old folks home and I quoted it so heavily. But honestly, I'm okay with that.
But you know what's funny? You know those situations. You're going to quote a job. The other companies quote it just as high as you.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna probably end up with that job.
Yeah, I've been surprised before where they'll call my bluff.
Yes, exactly.
Hey, what? You got the job? I'm like, are you serious? I think that was like $287,000 quote that I gave you guys. But yeah, we don't care. 1 rooftop unit. Although there was a couple of comments that had really good points that if the customer was smart, instead of replacing just that 1 unit, if they're gonna do 1 and spend the cost, have the cost of a crane and everything, just do them all, because those other units were the same age.
Absolutely.
But then another comment that I had was, what's actually wrong with that unit? I don't even know. The way our company works is the customer says, hey, I just need a quote for this, and we don't charge for quotes. So I really didn't have the opportunity to diagnose the unit. But
should I try playing your clip?
What's that?
Let me try playing your clip, huh?
Roll it.
So this is from today, right?
Let's see if our computers blow up.
He's walking on a rooftop. I believe it's working. It's not quite centered because this is on the fly, but yeah.
That's all right. We can tilt our heads a little bit.
So there's a big wall around it, huh, Bill?
What's that?
You have a big wall on each side.
Oh yeah. So I know there's a little bit of lag, so what I'm describing might not be what you guys are seeing. You see that one part where it looks like I dropped the camera on the roof?
Yeah,
I didn't drop it. I sort of fell down.
Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't want to admit that, but I'm like old and clumsy. So yeah, like that unit right there that you guys are looking at, that's the unit they want to replace. Right. And for one, who designs a building like that? Like, was that supposed to be an indoor pool? And they're like, well, we didn't order any water, so let's just put a bunch of rooftop units up there. It doesn't make any sense, that building design.
Yeah. And how many of them are over there in that little cubby? Is there like 2 or 3?
I think it was 3 or 4. But the other crazy thing is if you look at that unit that I'm quoting to replace, it looks like there was a much larger unit on there, like maybe a 20 or 30 ton unit on there, because it's that whole curb is like 2 or 3 times the size of that rooftop unit.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe they had a bigger unit at one point in time, but I can't even imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to agree with you though. Like, and again, I mean, obviously it's not my money, but it's if you're going to pay for the crane and you're going to pay for how much that job is going to cost to get a unit all the way over there in that little cubby, and you have 2 or 3 units that are all the same age, and they're obviously prepared to replace at least 1, I would definitely recommend, if we're going to get a crane to get a unit way over here, you might want to consider, if you're starting to upgrade units, you might want to do all 3 of these at one time.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I think I mentioned to Bill, we have done it, and these are $80,000 units, package units. We have taken them apart to bring them up on top of a condo, to put them through windows, cut them in pieces. Obviously, the manufacturer might not know, but we have separate the refrigeration lines, the wiring harness, the sensors, pull them out, and literally like put that unit in 3 pieces to get it somewhere. The
only way I would do that is if I had some way of the customer like signing off on the warranty, because at that point, if I separate the unit, then I am the warranty at that point.
That's funny. That's funny we're talking about this, because that same owner that I was talking about, the dye, Walsh Construction, Matt Walsh.
Yeah.
His second floor unit, we put in a modulating furnace, train modulating furnace with a 20-SEER steam humidifier and everything. And he has like a little winding staircase that comes up, and there's no way to get the furnace up. We
Wow.
took every part, the heat exchanger, everything out, and took it up in pieces. 100% reassembled the whole furnace up in that
Yeah.
little cup.
You know, I had to do that one time with well, it wasn't a furnace, it was actually a dryer. We had to take a dryer completely apart, tub, everything came out, and we took it up in pieces. But I can't imagine doing that with a rooftop unit, especially on that roof. I mean, because it's not like you can easily climb up there with, a condensing.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a crane in the coil anyway.
Yeah, that was
most part.
crazy. Yeah, you're doing parkour there. But
No.
I don't know. It's getting that time, guys. It's been probably an hour already. Should we do a little giveaway, couple giveaways before we get out of here?
What should we give away tonight? We didn't hit 100. That's what our goal was. We kind of failed a little bit, but we don't have that many subscribers.
Yeah.
So, what do you want to give away? We have a hammer drill. We have a couple Klein nut driver sets. We have a
I have
pen.
a slightly used Bic ink pen I can give away.
Slightly used.
Let's give a couple of those screwdrivers. Maybe some guys don't. Those are the HVAC aided ones.
No, they're nut
No,
drivers.
this is
It's a
like
nut
the
driver
Klein
set.
nut driver sets.
Oh,
There's
sorry,
like,
my bad.
5 or 6 different nut drivers in there or something.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, people like those. Okay. Go for that.
One thing that we didn't pre-plan for.
Is how we're gonna do it.
Yeah, I just
Because
realized
I don't
that.
have a comment generator, so what do you want to do? You have a trivia question somebody can answer?
Trivia question.
Good question. Oh man.
What would be a fair question to ask a crowd of mixed commercial guys and residential guys?
I'll leave that up to you, Bill.
How many feet?
Who can explain what refrigerant glide is? You guys
That's not fair for the resident. Well, they might do it, but I was gonna say, how many feet do you need a suction line trap? How many feet intervals? Like,
Are you
we
gonna
gotta
ask
make it fair.
code questions?
Sorry?
You gonna ask code questions?
No.
All right,
Follow.
here's a question. Somebody's got to call in for this. Ready? This is fairly easy. I think anyone could get this. How many BTUs are in a kilowatt?
Oh man. Can I guess too?
Well,
I
I
think
just
I
put
know.
the
I
phone
think-
number on the screen. How many BTUs are in a kilowatt? Somebody call in.
I know the answer.
That's not the answer.
It's not.
I don't think so. Not what you know.
Does anyone want to call in?
is
Nobody
it-
No,
knows?
that's not right, Bill.
Is it that?
No.
No.
It's been a while since I did that, so I'm thinking.
Anyone want a nut driver set? Eh?
Hey,
Oh, there's a lot of people posting a bunch of random numbers.
Call in and give your answer.
You got to call in. The phone number's on the screen.
Yeah, call in.
you don't want to just put it in chat? Hurry, grab it before they Google it.
I didn't
Go
think
ahead,
about
Ricky.
Googling it.
Okay, the answer is 3,412.
All right.
That is right. I recognize that number.
I know I'm right. I'm still in school.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
why he's
that.
fresh. He's still fresh in his head, you know?
All right, so you get a nut driver set. Can you email us? And I'm going to send you the rest of the crap that I've been waiting to send to you for the last 4 months.
Okay,
I've got
right
his
on.
info.
Thanks,
Adam.
guys.
Awesome.
Email.
Appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Bummer.
All right, Ricky.
Take it
See
easy.
ya.
That wasn't
All right.
bad for on the fly sort of stuff, huh?
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready to take this thing out?
Let's do it.
Do it.
I think it's been about enough of HVAC overtime for tonight. What do you think?
I think so.
We hit an hour.
Oh. Yeah, let's get out of here, guys. We'll see you guys next week. I really do want to say thanks to everybody for showing up tonight, especially for our first show. We appreciate all the support. Everybody who's emailed us, joined the group, or in any other way, shape, or form have communicated with us. We appreciate all the support. So go ahead and tune in next week, same time, 9 p.m. my time, 8 p.m. other people's time, right here on the HVAC Overtime channel.
Please like and subscribe.
And join the
You
group.
guys.